Hello and welcome to the Homewrecker Podcast. Hi, I am the Golden Greek, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing trophy wife, the lovely Monique.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, fantastic as always.
Yay.
Yeah, and
We're joined by a very special guest this week, my brother Jay.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
yeah, Jay's here. Woohoo!
Now, going way back, you may recall one of our earlier episodes. Jay was on our show before with our friend Jack Cullen when we were talking about the book Runes of Steel.
Yes, that's correct.
Jay's
Yes.
a returning guest.
He didn't have a microphone though.
No, I didn't.
We've stepped up and now we have an extra microphone. So yeah.
I'm the quiet one anyway, so
Yeah, fair
Not
enough.
tonight. Not
I'll try
tonight.
and speak a little bit more.
Yeah. So do you want to say anything about yourself?
No,
Yeah, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, tell
Jay.
us about who you are inside.
Put him on the spot.
who I am
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we have enough time to get into that.
Tremendous. Yes. So tonight is it's going to be a very fun night because we're talking about one of our favorite movies, Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
a classic.
It's time to break old Painless out of the bag.
That's right. Hell yeah. All right. So why don't we get the plugs and everything out of the way, and then let's dive into the show and what we're going to be talking about. So first off, if you want to find us on social media, the podcast Twitter handle is,
At Homewrecker Pod.
and that's it. No
Yep,
Facebook,
just
no
Twitter.
Instagram, nothing else, just Twitter.
Mhm.
And we also have a website.
Homewreckerpodcast.com.
That's it right there. And then if people want to find you, my lady, where can they find you?
You can find me. I have two websites, tarottbymonique.com if you're interested in organite, tarot oracle readings, incense, candles, all that fun stuff. You can also find me at www.innerstandingshypnosis.com if you're interested in scheduling a hypnotherapy appointment. I am a certified hypnotherapist. And I'm on Twitter at _Monique Giselle _. And my hypnotherapy Twitter is at Monique PCHT.
I don't know how you remember all that stuff, but that's why we put it in the show notes too.
Yes,
So you can
we
find
do.
it there because that's a mouthful.
Yes. And what about you? How can people find you?
You can't, only on this podcast for now. So that's
for
it.
now. Ooh,
Yes.
For now. All right.
That's
And
correct.
Jay, how can people find you?
They can. I'm incognito.
Tremendous. I love
So
it.
it's the way we like it.
Yes.
That is it.
Tremendous.
So with everything out of the way, is everything out of the way? Do you have anything else you want to say?
Yes.
right.
Two things. One, mystical meetups. Our next one is October 12th. It's Tuesday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Carlene and I will be talking about spirit attachments and ghosts. It's going to be really fun. So you can get the link in the show notes and sign up for that. And also the other day, I had a wonderful chat with our friend Karen Ronchowski from let me try to say that again, from Paranormal Karen.
From the
Her-
Paranormal Karen podcast?
Yes.
Tremendous.
Getting tongue-tied a little bit. That's okay. But yeah, we had a really awesome conversation and I spoke with her about hypnotherapy and that will be out, I believe, October 15th. So keep an ear out for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully she hasn't changed her schedule now that you've announced it.
It's okay. If it changes, I'll let everyone know. If I'm there, I'm there.
Did she give you the okay to announce this?
She told me what day it was.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
That's all.
Too late now.
No,
Yeah.
what's done is done.
Too late now. Burn that bridge, why don't you?
All right.
All right. So anyway, now on to the task at hand.
Yes.
Jumping right into the show itself.
Yes.
What are we talking about, my lady?
We are talking about the iconic 1987 movie Predator.
Iconic.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I
Yes.
guess you could say that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How would it not be?
All right. So Predator. So we're gonna do a movie review on Predator.
We are.
The first one, not the one that came out a couple years ago.
No, the original, as
The
I said, the
original.
1987.
Predator, not the Predator, which is the one that came out a few years back.
Ah,
Yeah. That one word is what
it
sets them
makes a
apart.
difference.
Yes.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
So can you remember the first time that you saw this movie, Jay? When
Uh,
you were younger?
Geez. Yeah. I remember it came out because when Jesse Ventura pulled that minigun out of the bag. That was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. And ever since the age of 12, I've wanted one of those.
This is true.
Yeah,
I can verify.
it's-
Plus, it was cool because we watched wrestling. So it was like Jesse Ventura's in
Right.
this. So that was really cool.
See him on the big screen.
Yeah, because so when we were kids,
Yep.
remember when we like get the couch and we like get the cushions out and we
Right.
climb to the top and we like elbow drop each other.
Oh, yeah.
What kid
Yeah.
didn't do that?
I know, but it was awesome. And I have my brother here so we can reminisce together.
It's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. What else did we do?
I think we broke some stuff.
Oh, yeah. Because our mom would know, like, if anything was moved out of place, she'd be like, what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She has that eye for detail.
Yeah. So our parents went on vacation and we were left home alone. And because they didn't want any parties, and we didn't, we were actually really good. We did not have any parties. They said we could have certain friends over, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I remember they came back and mom's like, who came over the house? And so we were honest and we told them like it was our friends who
Yeah.
were allowed over. And she's like, okay, it's like because she had a system. She had it's because she had certain things in place in the house. And if anything was like slightly the wrong way, like remember when we do
That's
like
awesome. Yeah.
remember when we do paranormal investigations and
Uh-huh.
I'd keep track of where everything was and what direction it was facing. It's like she just knew that everything in the house was in a certain order. And if one thing was off,
Oh, yeah.
plus we also had our dad who was a police officer. I'm sure his buddies were going by the house checking too.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't want to run that risk.
Yeah, now that I
Dad
think of
always
it.
found out.
Yeah, you probably don't want to get on their bad side.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But no, Predator, it was fun. It was
It was awesome.
Did you guys watch it together? Do you remember?
yeah.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned once or twice on this show, our parents owned a video store.
Once
So
Did.
Once or twice you've mentioned this. Yes.
So we were lucky enough to get movies like as soon as they came out on video, we could watch it. We also got, remember screeners?
Oh, yeah.
So there were screeners, which was basically the movie on VHS. They would send it to video stores so the stores would know how many copies they wanted to order. But I can't remember if we got Predator as a screener.
So
I don't think so. I think the night it came out, Mom brought it home.
So the screeners, if you don't mind just backtracking for that to that for a second, the screeners were to determine for the video store owners to determine how many copies. So I don't get it. How does that work?
It
Like
was
they
like a
watch the movie
promotional
and
video.
Yeah.
so they'd
So-
watch it and decide if they thought it was good enough.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Oh,
If
And
I
there
it's
was
see.
like a
really good movie,
thing-
they would order more copies of it.
Okay.
And they'd have like a thing at the bottom of the screen that would say,
Yeah, not
Yeah,
for sale
not
or
for
rental.
sale, yeah.
Gotcha.
Almost like not a copyright, but
like
you know,
promotional use
like
only.
a watermark.
Okay,
you
got
can
it, got
rent
it. Yeah.
out.
I mean, I've heard of those and stuff. I think that's how they leak movies out early now, is when they send the screeners to like critics or whatever review before it gets released, and
Yeah.
they end up on the internet and people see the movie before it gets officially released, that kind
Mhm.
of thing. I didn't when you said to determine how many copies to get, that's what kind of threw me off. So I just wanted to make sure I understood that right.
If something's going to be like a huge movie, they want to watch it. And because I think part of it was back then, depending on where you lived, certain movies, even if it was a hit, some towns might not want that,
Okay.
like smaller towns. So they might say, oh, we'll only get a couple copies. Whereas if you're in the city, depending on what it is and what it's about.
Okay, I guess. But I mean, so this is back in the 80s, right?
Mhm.
So most of these movies didn't come out on video till
Like a year later.
like a year later.
Yeah.
So they were sending the movies out to determine if they thought the movie was good or not. Like, I guess
Well,
that-
yeah,
I guess
it's-
I'm still not getting the logic there because
Because
they
they
didn't see it in the
want
theater.
people to buy a lot of movies.
Well, then don't forget at the time there was no Walmart. where
Yeah.
You could go for like $10.99.
And
pick
this
up a
was
DVD
videotape.
At like
Right, but the videotape, I don't mean to cut you off, but the videotapes would cost like $100
Yeah.
a piece or
Yeah.
something,
They
right?
were expensive.
So you weren't selling them though.
No,
No,
we were
for rental.
renting them.
Just renting them.
Yes, because there was no Blockbuster. It wasn't
Right.
like you get the previously owned movies. It
Yeah,
was.
the big chains had not come out yet
Yeah.
with,
No.
with like mass rentals and
I
stuff
think
like
it was
that.
what the max of like 5. We'd usually get like if it was like a
Something.
big rental.
yeah.
Like it's not like we
Wow.
got 80 or anything. but you usually get one. Sometimes you get two.
Right.
And sometimes I think
If it was a
one,
big,
two,
big
three.
movie.
Yeah. Cause I remember we had a tag system and you'd pull the number
Yeah.
tag. And I remember like on the little thing, the tag was on, like, there was like 1, 2, like on the little spine. And then there'd be more like on the front.
side of the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah. On the side.
And so this is pre-DVD as well.
Yes.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This was like
Wow.
mid 80s.
I want to say, like, when ET came out, wasn't it like $300 per
I
cassette?
think so.
It was something
Holy-
It
ridiculous.
was
Wow.
So to buy,
unfathomable.
if you buy too many, yeah, they'll rent well for the first couple of weeks. And
But
after a
then
month
you're
or
not
so,
making money.
You're not recouping
nobody's
your money.
renting it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I remember sometimes I didn't want to go to school and I'd ask to work at the video store and mom would say yes. And I got to watch movies.
Right.
I
That is a-
worked. I
that's a
actually
sweet
did work.
gig right there.
yeah, she had
Yeah.
me working there for a bit.
Yeah, it was fun. I wish I could do that again.
Oh man.
Let's just
I
open
wonder-
up a family
there's-
video store.
There's got
I
to be a
just
market
miss
for
video
that.
stores.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Same
love
here.
going in, walking
Yeah,
around,
you
looking
walk
at
around.
all the boxes.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
I mean, even like, so now you go online to your TV and you can get almost any movie you want, which is great. But
Mhm.
when you're trying to figure out, do I want to watch this? And they've only got like half a blurb on what it's about. and
Yeah.
It's like, eh.
But like when you go and people have watched the movies and they can actually tell you what the movie's about, what they think about it.
Yeah,
That's part of it. It's that
Mhm.
interaction. We should open up a family video store.
right.
I feel like Andy in the office. Are we doing this?
Are we doing this or what? Yeah, like I think that's why I've always wanted to have the tangible. That's why I like having like we have like I've gotten rid of a lot over the years, but we still have a lot of DVDs and movies.
And
so-
VHS tapes.
Yeah, and so anytime I like go in our basement where we keep everything stored and I see it, I'm just like, oh man, I always think of like the video store,
Right.
like it's not even close to that many, but you know, it kind of brings back memories of that kind of stuff.
For our family's video store we're going to open now, we should have actual like a VHS section.
So
Right.
so we are doing this now.
Yes.
Okay.
Our new venture.
All right. Homewrecker Video. Like, what do you call it?
I love it.
Yeah. Imagine. There's actually, I haven't watched it yet. We haven't watched it yet, but there's a movie called The Last Blockbuster. It's a documentary that came out recently. I saw a quick blurb about it on a website somewhere, and it's about the last Blockbuster video that I guess is somewhere in Washington State.
Yeah, I've heard of
Have you
that.
heard of that?
It's the only one that hasn't closed. I think they might have closed by now.
Oh,
but
okay.
They were trying to remain open, and I
Mm.
think COVID kind of messed them up. and
Yeah.
Makes
I could be
What
wrong.
didn't it
though,
mess
but
up?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say something and then I forgot.
Well, hopefully you remember.
It was about Oh, yeah. And I used to work at a Blockbuster,
You
which we
forgot
talked
that?
about. Yeah.
You
No, I forgot that's what I wanted to say,
Oh,
which we
okay.
talked about in a previous episode. So check it out where we talk about all the jobs we had.
You'd love calling back old shows. It's
Yes.
amazing your recall with that kind of stuff.
I have
Great.
a memory of an elephant, unless I'm trying to have a conversation and remember what I wanted to say.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
So in our
Predator.
family video store, we'll have
Oh.
like what, 5 copies of Predator on VHS for
VHS.
yeah,
Who's gonna have a VHS player?
the cool people.
I
you can rent them
guess.
out, get some old
Ooh,
machines, and
yes.
True, if we could find some old ones
Yeah.
and
There we
figure
go.
out how to recondition them.
right.
Actually, probably a market for that. Sure.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who fixes old VCRs.
Oh, I'm sure.
Anyone listening, please don't steal our ideas.
Yeah.
Those are trademarked.
Listen, if anybody hears something on this show and goes out and makes $1 million with it, more power to you. There's plenty to go around for everybody.
Intellectual properties here.
Yeah,
Just
right.
remember.
Right.
How about
Sure.
you,
Just
Predator?
kick us back a few bucks.
Yeah.
That's all. we
How
ask.
about you for Predator? When did
First
you?
time I saw
Yeah.
it, I saw it on somebody's a friend of mine. His name was Sean. I must have been 9 or 10 years old, and he had it on VHS, but he like dubbed it from TV. So it was one of those like TV edits. It was on like TBS or something. So it must have been, I want to say like 89 or 90. It was like it had just come out on cable, and I could be off on the year, but I know I was still really young, and so yeah, that was the first time I saw it, and I was blown away. I'd never seen it. I didn't know what to expect. I just knew it was Arnold, and I knew it was Jesse Ventura, but I didn't know that it was an alien. I thought it was just some action jungle movie. I didn't know it was an alien. So when that whole thing happened, I'm like, what the? Totally blew me away. And then I had to go out and figure out how to watch it, not like edited, And so
with all the good stuff still in there.
Yeah. So I had to go and watch it. I think I must have rented it or something like that. But yeah.
Aside from Jesse Ventura, like, what did you think about the actual alien, the predator in the movie?
Man, he was scary as fuck, ripping everybody's spine out and stuff. I'm like, man, he was awesome though. I mean, you really hadn't. There weren't too many alien movies. You had Alien, and all that.
Yeah.
But then you had this thing, which is more of a humanoid. It can think. It's got these awesome weapons, camouflage. Yeah, it was badass.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was awesome.
I thought he was scary.
I thought he was kind of handsome. I got a crush on Predator. I have a type. So I like, badasses. Jason Voorhees was a crush. Predator was a crush. Yes. Because it's not about the looks, people.
And you married me. Like, what?
It's about the character, the content of their character. And it's about the person.
Well, they're not quitters, so.
No, they're not. And they're really tough and strong.
And determined.
They're the strong, silent type.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Predator scared the shit out of me when I first saw it. When he first got especially when he first got the mask off, and you saw like what are those called? The tentacles or whatever. What's the called?
Mandibles?
With the mandibles. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was like, that was just crazy. First time I'm like, what is that?
I'm like, tentacles. He's not Cthulhu.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Mentacles, monocles, mandibles. What is it?
Mandibles?
Those mouth grabby things.
Those things.
Pincer kind of thingies.
Yeah. So yeah.
I wonder if they actually have a name for on his face, what they are.
I think it's mandibles. I think you're right. I think
I'm sure you could go online and somebody has detailed anatomy charts of that thing.
Of course.
Could be.
I remember I became obsessed with Predator after I first saw it too, because there was a comic book. Dark Horse Comics did a comic book. I think they did a number of them actually. And then it ended up becoming, they'd do crossovers with like Predator versus Batman and Aliens versus Predator and stuff. That was a comic book before it was a movie. And then, just that kind of thing. And then Terminator became a comic book, or I might have the timelines wrong there, but I got into comic books kind of around that time too. So I was reading Punisher and then the Predator ones. When I discovered there was a Predator comic, I was mind blown, so yeah.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of the comic, I think it might've been a year or two ago, our oldest, he and I were out doing errands, and there's a Newberry Comics in Manchester. And I was like, I'm going to take him into Newberry Comics. I think that would be really cool because we're not big shoppers, but I was like, yeah, I used to do that when I was a teenager. So I brought him in and I'm looking at the comics and they had Predator. Was it Predator versus Archie? And it was the Archie comics and Predator. And just, I think it was the other day, our friend Matt Spectro, who is a former guest of the show, he posted about that. And I was like, I got the Predator versus Archie.
Oh, really?
And I was like, I got that comic.
I remember you bringing that home and I'm just like, what
I was like,
this?
Jughead gets disemboweled.
No, because I used to read Archie comics.
Right.
And so it was just like, what is this? I was flipping through and I'm like, just for what it is, I need to have it.
Right.
That's all. And I was like, do they have more Predator comics? But I couldn't find any.
Well, there you go.
Because I would have gotten them.
So do you want to do like a brief synopsis of the movie and then we can talk a little more about it?
Yeah, do you want to give the synopsis, or Jay?
Let you guys do it.
Okay,
so movie starts with Arnold Schwarzenegger and it's Carl Weathers, right? They are in the jungle. Dylan,
you son of a
bitch. And they do the infamous iconic arm wrestling scene where they're both just flexing as they're like arm wrestling each other. And then what's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils. All the iconic, I can't even talk today. Iconic Arnold lines. So anyway, yeah, these guys are in the jungle. They're on some kind of mission that you could tell they're military, but it doesn't say what branch or anything like that. And they're just there, I guess, to do an extraction of an asset or something like that. They're very vague about what's going on, what their mission is. And so then they all get dumped in the jungle somewhere out, somewhere out wherever. And yeah, slowly but surely they realize they're being stalked by something that they can't see. And one by one, they start getting picked off, and eventually they realize it's an alien.
But they also picked up a woman too.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
who kind of knows what it is, though.
Yeah,
she
well,
has
like
a
I
clue,
said,
but she's not talking.
they eventually realize it's an alien.
Yes, an awesome alien.
Yes, and
who's badass.
And of course, spoilers: Arnold fights the alien at the end, 1-on-1. He's like the last man standing, and he wins. Shocker.
What did you think? What did you guys think of that ending?
I thought it was pretty cool.
I was confused by it at first because you see like this enormous explosion. You remember you get that shot from the helicopter as they're coming in, like the rescue choppers come in and they see the massive like mushroom cloud.
Like a nuke went off.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, well, he blew up the whole jungle. There's no way Arnold survived that, but somehow he's in the helicopter at the end covered in mud and he's fine.
Because he's Arnold. He's indestructible.
Right. Now, I actually read the novelization and I read the novelization of Predator 2 when it came out. And in the novelization of Predator 2, it talked about Dutch, Arnold's character, whose name I guess was Dutch Schaefer, which they never said in the movie and they never said it in the credits, but that was his name. How he died of radiation cancer shortly after the events of the jungle because of the bomb. So he dies in the Predator universe storyline, whatever. Not in the movie. You don't see that in the movie, but in the novelization of the movie.
Interesting.
Right? That kind of sucks for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I remember like I really liked the ending, but I was kind of disappointed because I kind of also wanted the alien to survive.
Right.
Like it was awesome, but I just a part of me wanted it to survive.
Well, I mean, came back for a sequel.
It survived right here.
You had a ton of them come back.
Right in my heart. Yeah.
One of the coolest things though about Predator 2 was at the end when Danny Glover ends up in the ship.
Yeah.
And he's like, they've been here forever. He gives him the old pirate pistol, the flintlock.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. It's more than just some random alien running around. It's
And I remember with that too. That was one of the things I was looking forward to in the book because I saw the movie first and then I was like, I gotta get this book. And it goes into big time detail in the book about, where they came from and all this. I haven't read it in 20 something years, but I remember it went into detail about where they came from, where they'd been, more details about what was on the ship and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty interesting. I can remember the details now.
Did you watch Predator versus Aliens where they go to is it Antarctica or somewhere?
It's Antarctica.
They find them under the ice.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I love when there's stuff that kind of shows the evolution and like more about the alien.
Right.
That group.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I find that very interesting. Another one of my favorite parts of this movie too is the helicopter ride.
Right.
Long tall Sally. Yes.
As it opens.
Yes. What is it? This shit will make you. What is it?
This shit will make you a sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Yes.
Y'all a bunch of slack Joan.
Yes. Yeah. And part of it was because I really liked the Little Richard song.
Right. It was a cool tune.
I like that song because I grew up listening to a lot of oldies. And then it's just like the way they built the scene. It's like they're getting ready to be dropped in the jungle. And everyone's just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
yeah.
Chilling out, get the music going.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember hearing Jesse Ventura give interviews about this, like the filming and the making of this movie and stuff. And he was saying how he and Arnold would get into little competitions, like who could get up earlier in the morning to get to the gym so they could work out. Because Arnold had like a gym shipped to the jungle, wherever they were filming and stuff, so they could all work out and whatever. So I thought those were pretty cool stories. And he said for him it was kind of almost like being back in Nam. It kind of brought back a lot of memories because he was a Navy SEAL, and everything before he got into wrestling and acting and all that. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
Jesse gonna start having some flashbacks?
Yeah, he said he did. I mean, so I don't.
I can only imagine, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of that is just him, bravado or whatever, trying to tell a story for a podcast or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting that he said that.
What was another one of your favorite scenes?
Probably when Jesse Ventura's character Blaine gets killed and they end up just lighting the jungle up and
Yes,
like the Mad Minute just got fired to walk back.
Mhm.
That was badass.
I remember being pretty shocked that he died when I watched it the first time because I didn't think he would die.
That
Just
quick.
because, yeah, exactly.
figured
Just
he'd be
because,
one of the remaining characters.
right? Yeah, and that was one of the first times. And again, I saw it when I was 9 or 10 years old, so hadn't seen that many movies yet. But that was like one of the first times I saw a main character, or somebody that I liked watching a movie that, like you said, gets killed off that quick, and I was just taken aback by it. I didn't know what to expect. Now it's like if he's
Why should I
gone,
keep watching?
anybody else can die. So now you don't know who's gonna make it to the end. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
and
that
memorable.
Oh
obviously,
yeah, and that scene too with Jesse Ventura, that was really good. What did you think of Billy? Do you remember that character?
Yeah,
Billy was the
guy.
Indian.
Yeah.
The Indian,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought he was pretty badass too.
I liked
had
him
the old
too.
Native thing going.
Yeah.
But I read some stories. I guess he was a prick to work with on the set.
I heard
Really?
that too. Yes. Yeah. I read some stuff about that as well.
Oh,
yeah, he was not easy to get along with.
that's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
I guess he was like a badass in real life too.
Yeah, he got into a lot of fights and
Yeah, he
didn't
was
put
one
up
of
with any
those.
BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, you're making a Hollywood movie. I'm sure there's plenty of BS to go around. So
right.
maybe that's why. Who knows?
It was the 80s.
A thought. It was the 80s. I
Different
was
time.
I was thinking about the way he died at the end. Oh yeah, spoilers. People die in the movie if you haven't watched
They
it from
do.
1987.
Yeah.
But just kind of thinking like the kind of like everyone go and just taking a stand. But
Right.
it like part of it sucked because it was like what 2 seconds and you hear him screaming and you're like,
Come on, I thought he would have
That's it?
lasted a little bit longer.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, give him a little longer to seem as badass. Like I get it. It's the Predator. It's this almost unbeatable alien that has all this technology and armor. I get it's really difficult to beat, but I don't
Maybe
know.
at least get a shot in, a good punch, something.
It was literally like they're running, 2 seconds go by. Ah! That's it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
A little
Eh,
disappointing.
What are you gonna do?
Eh,
Maybe he's not that. He'll come back in a few minutes. No,
Mhm.
doesn't happen.
no.
Sorry, folks.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, it was awesome though. I just that was a movie that we watch it like maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
Or something like that. At least once a year
Yeah.
since
and-
we've been together anyway.
And so we used to go to a place up in North Conway, and they have like different themed rooms, and they had
Right, yeah.
they
I know
have a
that
movie
place.
theater one. And so we got the movie theater room where it's like this big screen. They have like movie theater style like
Adventure
seats.
Suites
Yes.
in North Conway, New Hampshire. Yeah.
Yes. And we brought Predator because they're like, we're going to watch this. And it was really cool, like watching it in there on the big screen. And we went to dinner the night before. And at dinner, I had an idea. I thought it would be really fun since we're watching Predator to do a Predator drinking game. I don't drink
Yes.
often.
Yes. No, neither do I.
And we were drunk how early into the movie?
Oh, we didn't even get to I don't even think we got to where they saw the Predator.
No.
I'm not kidding.
No.
We didn't even get that far.
Would you like me to share the Predator drinking
I want
game?
you to, yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen
still
this before, so enlighten me.
I still have this on my phone too. Do you have the date on yours? Or is it just
No,
when you
because
imported it?
when I
All right,
imported it.
I'm going to show you. I have
Do you have the date?
the original date. Nope. Sorry. I'm lying.
Was it like
It's not,
2000?
it was 2013. I imported it to this phone.
I think it was, hold on. It might have
yeah,
been
so never mind.
2010 or 11.
Yeah, it was early.
It was
on.
like,
It was
yeah,
a while ago.
2010 or 11.
So
So
anyhow, all right, go for it.
if you want to play the Predator drinking game at home with your friends, take one shot when Dutch lights a cigar. Take one shot when Someone survives something that would kill a normal person. Take one shot when an out of context macho remark is made by a team member. Take a shot when Mac is seen shaving. And take a shot when the bongos play. We did not get far at all before we were inebriated. It it was fun.
Did you even make it to the end of the movie?
Oh, kind of.
I mean,
half in and out of consciousness.
Not really sober.
Yeah.
Definitely not sober.
I remember I was like, I can't do, and I'm like trying to think like, how can I do this? I'm trying to think, how can I make this work so I can still watch and enjoy the movie and not have to tap out of the game.
Yeah, it was a mistake. A fun mistake, but
It
still.
What were you
fun.
doing shots of? That's the important thing.
Yeah, I can't remember. What were we doing shots of? We had Jaeger, I think. Wasn't it Jaeger? Jaeger and Southern Comfort, I think, is what
I think,
we were doing.
yeah, Jaeger and SoCo.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it's been well over a decade, and don't plan on doing that again anytime soon.
But if you want to play at home with your friends, just make sure you don't drink and drive. Either stay where you are or get a sober driver.
Right on.
Did my PSA.
Wow, a PSA here.
Yeah,
You could call an Uber.
Exactly. In this day
Yeah,
and age,
that's right.
there's no reason to drive under the influence.
That is true.
Yes. Yes.
That is true.
I'll withhold any other comments.
This is now the Predator. I was amazed when I found out that was a guy, like an actual it was a 7 foot something actor. Kevin Peter Hall is who played him, and I guess he died shortly after making Predator 2.
Yeah. I remember
Do you
hearing that.
remember
Yeah.
that? 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember being like, "What? The Predator's dead? What? How are they going to do any more movies?" And I realized, you just got to get somebody else that's tall that gets in the costume. But still, yeah.
I heard the original Predator was Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Yes.
but then something happened.
something happened and
yeah,
they changed it all around.
they
Yeah.
got rid of him.
Yeah.
Can you
Interesting.
imagine that?
Would have been a different movie for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't have been the same thing.
I'm just trying to process that in my head.
Right.
I
Like,
was
what,
waiting for you to say
really?
something there. Yeah.
I'm just in my head trying to picture that.
The Predator doing splits on trees.
No.
No,
No.
doesn't work.
No. No. Do you have any other fun info? Fun facts?
Yes. Jesse Ventura was delighted to find out that the wardrobe department, that his arms were 1 inch bigger than Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Now- Hold on a second, though. However, so Jesse went to Arnold and said, "Hey, we should have a contest. Where the winner the winner gets a bottle of champagne from the loser, some whatever the rules were, and we'll measure our arms in front of everybody." And so they measured them, and Arnold's were bigger than Jesse's because Arnold went to the wardrobe department and said, "Hey, go tell Jesse that his arms are 1 inch bigger than mine," because Arnold's the fucking king master psychologist. It just fucks with everybody. If anybody's ever seen Pumping Iron and seen how Arnold is, he's just a psychological master, just fucks with everybody's heads. So yeah, that was a funny story.
That is funny.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty interesting. Now, I'm actually looking through real quick here as we're talking, scrolling through, and yes, I see what you were saying. Jean-Claude Van Damme originally cast to play the Predator. The idea being that the physical action star would use his martial arts to make the Predator an agile, ninja-like hunter. But I guess Van Damme couldn't make the required movements in the original costume. And he constantly complained about being in the monster suit and it being too hot, causing him to pass out. So, yeah, he was removed from the movie. And I guess it says officially he was removed for being too short at 5'9".
Because, yeah, that was what was going
So-
through my head. I thought Jean-Claude Van Damme wasn't super tall, and you had it played by a guy who is 7 feet tall. So that was also what my mind was trying to process.
Well, I think that the visual of the visual
Effects,
of a taller person, like the
camera shots. and-
Yeah, but I mean, you figure, if the guy is much bigger than the protagonist, the villain, the Predator, it's like David versus Goliath. It's just that visual. It's as old as time, that story. So it's easier to tell from a movie perspective, from a visual perspective, from any perspective. You get the bigger versus the smaller, David Goliath. So I think that it definitely makes sense that the Predator would be bigger than Arnold. It just would work.
Everything
and obviously it
happens
did.
for a reason.
But
It all works out.
No little pygmy predators running around.
Imagine that.
That would be
could pretty
awesome.
cool.
Imagine that.
We're gonna see that in a few years from now. It's like another Predator sequel, and there's pygmy predators.
Or just them as kids. Running around beheading stuff.
Yes. Training.
Right.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Just very interesting stuff.
Anything else you get?
I'm scrolling through. Yeah. That Arnold wanted to cast Jesse Ventura as in the movie because he was big and manly. That was it. All right. Interesting bit of trivia here on IMDb.
Casting for this movie.
John McTiernan was the director of this movie.
Yeah.
And he was the guy who, I think he went on to direct, was it Live Free or Die Hard? And I think, did he do, oh no, I'm sorry. He did the original Die Hard and he did Last Action Hero.
That was a good movie.
It was. Yeah. We actually
just
watched that recently with our
recently.
kids. Yeah. Yeah. He did The Hunt for Red October, I believe. Yeah. He did a bunch of great movies, like really memorable movies from that time. So, yeah.
I don't think I watched Hunt for Red October.
I've never seen it.
Remember?
I did. Yeah. I watched
never
it a
seen
long time
I
ago.
remember
Sean
mom and dad.
Connery.
Yeah. Mom and dad watched it. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's either that or they wouldn't let me watch it because there were those movies too.
Right.
And then
I've never seen it.
I remember sometimes you'd be like, I know where it is. We'll watch it.
Yeah.
I remember Faces of Death.
Right.
Mom wouldn't let me watch that. So you
But that
had
was
friends
all-
over.
But that
and-
was a work anyway. That was fake anyway. It was all fake
but
stuff.
I was a kid.
Most of it was, I think.
Yeah.
I
think-
wanted to
yeah.
watch it, and you had friends over, you're watching it, and you guys were in the basement, and I snuck down the basement stairs and was like
Hiding
sitting
up
like
there watching.
I was up there watching. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I wanted to watch it. I was curious.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie, I'm also looking at the box office for this movie. The budget was $15 million, and opening weekend in the U.S. it did $12 million. It grossed $59 million, so it was obviously a moneymaker. But you think about it, $59 million
Back
for the
in
total gross.
1987.
Yeah, that's good. You figure for back then, but like today, that's like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
nobody
now they
saw
do
it. You
hundreds.
know.
Compared to like Avengers or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. So I'm just looking at it and I'm like, wow. So I think most people that saw this probably saw it when it came out on cable because it was on all the time for, I don't know if it still is or not, but it used to be on all the time. So I don't know.
Yeah, I ditched cable a while ago. So
You too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Good move, right?
Best thing I ever did.
Good move.
But it
Save
was-
a ton of money.
Mhm.
I remember used to be on like the movie channels like HBO and Cinemax. Like
Yeah,
those,
but it would be on USA. That
Yeah.
would be on TBS.
Oh yeah, it was
TNT.
yeah.
So it was on.
Yeah,
all the
like
cable
later
channels.
on too.
Yeah.
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 'Cause at first
was
it
With
was-
on.
commercials every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Predators 4 hours? Well, it is with all the commercial
Yeah.
breaks. Oh,
Right.
come
Because
on.
it's like just barely 2 hours. It's
Yeah.
it's like less than 2 hours, but yeah,
Mhm.
throwing in all those commercials.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, I was pretty interesting when I saw the box office because my mind is thinking 2021, not 1987. And it's, geez, over 30 years ago now.
Well, you said that, and my first thought was for 1987, that's pretty good. But
Right?
you went to for
Yeah.
2021. So Jay, is there anything else? Sorry, I'm fiddling with my headset because it's falling off my
We've
head.
got a bit of a different setup. I'm just going to,
Yeah.
for anybody that's getting annoyed by this sound,
The sound.
that's because we're not using our normal mics. We're just holding our microphones in our hands. We don't have the stand. So for anybody that hears that, apologies. Anywho, go ahead.
Sorry, and I have a different headset on, so I'm not used to it. It's like pushing on my ears. Anyway, have you seen all the sequels?
No,
because
not
you
all
said
of
you
them.
didn't see Alien. Which ones have you seen?
I saw part 2.
Yep.
I saw Alien vs Predator. I saw, was it Predators? Who was the one with Jeez, I can't remember his
Adrian
name.
Brody.
Yes, I saw
Yes,
that
where
one.
they go on
was a
the
good one.
planet. The-
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a good movie.
I liked that one.
That
yeah.
was pretty good. Although, like a lot of the scenes were very dark. It was hard to make out what was going on. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Then
You know-
there was like Mega Predator.
Well, yeah. In the second Alien versus Predator movie was so dark. You couldn't see anything in that movie. Did you? So you never saw that one?
I didn't see the second one.
It was
Are you
so
talking about
hard.
the Requiem?
Requiem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't say that
It
word.
was so hard to see because it took place at night,
It was
and it was out in the woods, and it's like you
It's
couldn't
all
see
shadows.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
you
And
couldn't see
then if you
anything.
have a light on in your house, the light's reflecting, and all
Yeah.
you're
And
seeing
then
is
you
the
really don't see
reflection.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see a damn thing in that movie. So
Well, because I wanted to ask you, I know that a lot of people hated the second Predator movie, the sequel.
I thought it was awesome. It had Gary Busey in it, for
I know,
Christ's
I
sakes. Come
liked
on.
it.
Yeah.
But
I liked it.
I remember
I
hearing
enjoyed
a
it.
lot of people like shit talk it. They
Well,
said it
because
was not
Haters
good.
gonna hate.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it, it's completely different than the first one.
Yeah.
The first one's in a jungle. It's got Arnold. This one is it's you could say in a concrete jungle, right? It's in the city,
Yeah.
That's right.
and it's completely different. You have police officers, gangs, all the Rastafarians, all these different kind of
Voodoo.
things. Yeah, exactly. So there's all this different stuff. It's completely different, but you have the same predator in the
Hunting people.
exactly. So you have the same kind of scenario, just in a different setting with completely different characters. You had Arnold and the wisecracking military, one-liner macho guys, and then they pick up like the girl, halfway through the movie or whatever, and getting hunted by the predator, and that's it. But in this one, you had the cops, you had, like I said, the special military force that showed up, Gary
Right.
Busey and all these different things. So you had a million different things. I don't know. So you could say that maybe that made it better, or you could say, well, it's not as good because maybe there's just too much to follow. I don't know. And they're really the only you got behind Danny Glover as the main character, but there was so much stuff going on that you didn't get maybe as invested in the characters. I'm just trying to really psychologically take apart why people wouldn't like it.
I think
But-
because it wasn't in the jungle and because Arnold wasn't in it.
Yeah. Probably. I
Probably.
mean, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
But
Just
if you
to
take
boil
that
it
out,
down.
it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked
You
it.
know, like especially the
enjoyed it.
ending, where
Yeah,
They
where he's
see, oh my
on the
God.
damn, he's on
Yeah,
the
the
ship.
ending was
this isn't some
awesome.
random
Yep.
alien that crashed. No, they come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
And that was the other thing, because I remember how hot it was in the movie, and being like, in the first one, they talk about how like on the hottest days of like every so many years, it's the hottest day when they come. And then it was like super hot. There was this heat wave. And I was like, oh, there's something with the heat.
they like the warm weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like me.
So we'll never see them up in our neck of the woods up here.
Probably not.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Yes.
We'll be out shooting in the woods, and the next we know, shit, we see like the red marks on us.
Yeah.
No,
Our-
we
our
like
spines
you,
are hanging from
Yeah.
a tree.
but we like you. Let's hunt together. Teach us
Uh.
your ways.
So,
Do you want to? Is there anything else before we get into the reviews?
oh, you want to do what?
Well, we
yeah,
kind
can
of do
some-
that.
Yeah, we'll do some IMDb reviews. I mean, no, I don't really. Oh, yeah, actually,
Mhm.
I have to tell the story of when I had my neck surgery.
Yes.
I didn't tell that story. So this totally has to do with Predator. I got my neck fused back in, was it 2014? So I come out of surgery, I'm in the hospital, and I remember one of the first things I said was, "Where's my wife?" I came to, and there's a nurse there, like, "Where's my wife?" It was the first thing I said when I woke up. I remember that. And then a couple hours later or whatever, I'm, kind of getting a little more with it, still obviously on anesthesia and whatever else, but the nurse had to change my, what's the thing called? It goes in your wrist.
The
IV?
Fluids, IV. Thank you. So when she pulled it out, like it started bleeding everywhere. And she goes, "Oh, you're bleeding." And I looked at her, I go, "I ain't got time to bleed." And she had no idea what I was talking about.
Right over
And
her
she
head.
completely no-sold it, didn't say anything, didn't acknowledge it at all. She just kind of gave me a look, and I went, you never saw Predator? And she's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh man." That's when I'm like, okay, I'm old.
I've lost
I'm
faith in
officially old.
humanity.
I'm officially old. And this was 8-9 years ago now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just recently, not that long ago, tried saying it to somebody. I can't remember where it was though, but they didn't have a clue.
Yeah. I remember when you came into the hospital, I told you about it after. How disappointed I was. Like,
I was so
I would
excited.
when would you ever get to use that line in real life?
Not
Never.
often.
And I was able to
Anytime.
use it, and she just had no idea what I was talking about.
Anytime you
come
get the
on, play this card.
opportunity. If anyone ever says you're bleeding, the thing to say is,
I ain't got time to bleed.
and there you go.
I can't do a Jesse voice. I can't do
No.
it justice.
But yeah, I can't remember.
All right. Well, you
No,
can't remember.
because like
So-
I'm like, it's not when I burned my fingers on the lawnmower when I went to urgent care, and it's not the time I fell up the stairs and
Up
had
the
to go.
stairs, folks. Up the stairs.
Okay, so I
Oh,
That
fell,
still amazes me.
Yes, please explain this.
I fell up the stairs. So it was cold. I had slippers on, and the way the stairs are, there's like wood, and there's like a little lip that comes out. And I was trying to go really fast up the stairs, and so the slipper caught like where the wood comes out, like on the edge, and it like pulled me down. It tripped me, so I fell, and then boom, 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 went down the stairs. So I fell going up the stairs. I fell down, but I was going up the stairs. It's not like I was ascending down the stairs when I fell. But my brother's
Up
looking
the
at
stairs.
You are something.
That sounds like something I do, though. That's why I'm like, yeah, we're definitely related.
Oh goodness. Wow. I'm looking through these reviews. We're gonna have some fun with these. I
all
think.
right, let's go.
Okay, so everyone's favorite part of the movie review shows we do, reading the IMDb reviews. So I'm going to start with some 1 stars. There's a lot of reviews here, but there's only a couple of 1 stars. So that should tell you something about the movie.
What's the overall score?
The overall score is 7.8 out of 10.
Not bad.
So it seems like 8 stars is the most review. The most 8. I can't talk. The most 8 stars has the most reviews. Oh, more people gave it 8 stars than I can't. I don't know what I'm saying right now. My God.
The majority of
reviews
gave
were
8
8
stars.
stars out of
or
10.
the average.
Yes.
8-star average.
8 stars was the highest. If you look at this little graph here.
Oh, okay.
So that got the most, and then the next highest was 7 stars, and you had a bunch of 9s, a bunch of 10s, some 6s, 5s, and there's only 5 1-star reviews.
Only 5?
Yes, on all of IMDb. So that should tell you something, that this was a pretty well-received movie for the most part.
I'm curious when they were written.
Well, let's read one right
Well,
now.
it's not like any would be from 1987.
So SD Davis 63, back on December 3rd of 2010, gave this 1 out of 10 stars. And his title for his review was, I found it tedious. There are guns and other weapons ablazing in this sci-fi thriller about an alien creature who's single-handedly wiping out an elite military team sent into the jungles of Central America to rescue some hostages. With all that, it sounds strange, but I found this tedious viewing all the way through. To me, it's most noteworthy for having 2 future U.S. governors in the cast. Jesse Ventura, future governor of Minnesota, played a small part, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, future governor of California, was the star. The story itself was repetitious all the way through, a traipse through the jungle while being stalked by a monster, and the dialogue, as one might expect with this kind of movie, was weak. Schwarzenegger really was called upon to do very little except look tough, which admittedly he does well, and I wondered, as any thinking person would do, why the creature didn't just kill Dutch when it had him by the throat pinned against the tree. I suppose because that would have taken away the chance to have the really cool ending with a huge explosion and then Arnold standing victoriously in a macho pose as he looks around at the carnage. Breathe again. That was a long sentence. Tedious sums up all I need to say about this from my perspective.
I wonder what type of movie he would give an 8-star review
I know,
to.
right? Like what?
Tedious.
And, holy cow.
Who the fuck calls a movie tedious?
All right.
Especially with
Hey,
yeah,
that review was tedious.
That review was 1 star.
man.
I
out
always
of
get
10.
like
Damn
super
it.
like defensive.
I mean,
Yes,
hey, everybody's
the best.
entitled to their
Of the,
opinion, but
the movies I like, I get super
it's
defensive.
tedious and boring. Well,
So-
come on.
Yeah, I always love how you get all defensive, and it's like, it's just a somebody's
Like
opinion.
as if it
It's
was my
okay.
own movie.
Yeah, it's all right. So here's another 1-star. How this movie became a classic still baffles me, by Goroth. All right. July 13th, 2016. Warning, spoilers. Oh, this is a long one. I don't know if we should read this whole thing. What the hell? Seriously, what is the big deal of this movie? Predator is overall a mediocre film. The dialogue was stupid, like, I ain't got time to bleed, and slack-jawed. I'm not going to say the word. The action scenes were boring. This movie is hardly an action film. Most of the action in this movie comes from the scene where Arnold's team shoots up a military camp and when the Predator creature gets into a hand-to-hand combat with Arnold. The movie builds little suspense, and I did not care for any of these characters. The movie tried too hard to be cool, so I couldn't take this movie seriously. Right before the showdown between Arnold and the Predator, Arnold jumps into a lake, and when he got to the surface, he sees that the Predator also jumped into the lake. Arnold crawls away, and as he does, his body is covered in mud. What baffles me is the fact that his entire body was covered in mud just by crawling in the mud, as if someone got mud in their hands and smeared it all over Arnold's body. The Predator couldn't see Arnold's body heat due to the fact that his body was covered in mud. Wow. For an advanced alien hunter, the Predator wasn't very good. It got fooled by a guy covered in mud. And does that even work? Covering yourself in mud hides your body heat? That idea is stupid. The Predator's heat vision was terrible. I could barely see anything when the camera turned to the Predator's heat vision. At the showdown between Arnold and the Predator was just slapping Arnold around like how any man could. I find it hard to believe how the Predator was able to rip Billy's spine out with its bare hands and lift and throw Arnold in the air with one hand, yet Arnold was fine after being slapped in the face by the Predator. When Arnold finally defeated the Predator set off its nuke and laughed exactly like how Billy did earlier. That scene was ridiculous. What was the point in that Predator nuking itself? One more thing that did not make sense about this film: after Arnold's team shot up the military camp and took off, the Predator showed up and held a dead scorpion in its hand. You could see the dead scorpion in the Predator's heat vision. Bugs are cold-blooded. They don't give off body heat. The movie is overrated. I can see why this movie received polarizing reviews when it was recently released. How did this movie become a classic? I don't know. Probably because of the whole Alien Predator crossover. One thing is for sure, the only reason why Predators are this popular is Xenomorph. If 20th Century Fox never wanted to make an AVP movie, Predators would have never become this popular. All right.
All I can think of is Professor Frank from The Simpsons. You know,
Right? Yeah.
See, that to me, I could be way off. Somebody maybe who's a little younger who saw this movie and maybe didn't grow up in our
In the 80s.
generation.
That's kind of what
in
I
the
was
80s.
thinking, because we grew up with all these movies, all these
That's-
outrageous action heroes.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
Here's the thing.
Exactly.
Creatures that are cold-blooded absorb the current temperature, you dumbass. So if it's 110
Oh, gosh. Here we
degrees,
go.
then it's absorbing that
You don't
heat.
have
So
to
it
get
would be
so
hot.
different.
You-
It's just somebody's opinion.
Yeah, but they go out
Calm
spouting their mouth like
down.
they know shit and they don't.
Calm down.
that sounds like a Mythbusters thing, though. You know? Can mud block you from?
I know.
Yeah.
But you know what I think of? Because when I saw that, like when you see stuff about pigs, they go in mud to cool down, and that's how they cool their body temperature.
Yeah, the mud blocks the sun from hitting their skin and keeps them cooler.
Yeah. And I guess if the water was cold, and then I think of Tremors. Was it Tremors 2 where they used the fire extinguisher to cool them down?
Right.
Yeah. Our parents owned a video store.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Here's another 1-star from November 3rd, 2019. See, these are all more recent. 1 out of 10 stars. Absolute rubbish by MJ Peacock 48163. No idea where these 10-star reviews are coming from because this film is pure dross from beginning to end. Predictable, simplistic plot, atrocious dialogue, and dodgy acting. Was an almighty endurance test to actually sit through the whole thing. Can only have achieved its almost mythical status via the follow the crowd mentality. Avoid.
Dodgy acting.
Wow, he used a lot of big fancy words in that
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
Somebody used a thesaurus.
Yes. But again, I think I think it may be a generational thing. That's what
Right.
I think. We probably enjoy this movie because when it came out and we first saw it, it was awesome because it was just something that was so new, kind of, you know, And like Jay, like you were saying, it's the 80s. So that's the kind of stuff we were used to. And then obviously as time goes on and tastes change and everything change, maybe people now don't think it's as great.
I'm sure if I were to write a review about a movie that came out in like, let's say the 50s or 60s, I'd probably be a little like, yeah, it's slow. I grew up watching 80s action movies, all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Not saying that there weren't some great movies made in the past, but
well, look at you playing all devil's advocate and whatnot.
Right.
Okay. All right.
No, you made an excellent point.
Just saying, you know.
How about another 1 star? You ready?
Yes.
1 out of 10 stars from Jojo Jamin, April 28th, 2020, titled Cheesy Dialogue and Bad Acting Destroy Great Concept. This is one of the worst films ever made. I realize I'm probably in the minority here, but when I watch a film, I want to hear intelligent, logical, not some hastily written spew. And when the subject is grim, I don't want the story to digress to a comedic level. Yeah, I know Muscle Man Arnold was popular at the time, but he could not act his way through a sheet of thin plastic, and neither could any of the rest of these clowns. And what the hell is with the dude with the huge glasses? Is this a combat team or what? The only thing this film is good for is exhibiting to the world how Hollyweird manages to take great concepts and turn them into immemorable celluloid crap. But I guess you have to have the mind of a 10-year-old boy to not see how bad this film actually was and is. But if your ears have time to bleed, then this is the film for you.
It's a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body Ventura with an alien. What the fuck do you expect?
Some people just have no taste.
This was not made for the Sundance Film Festival.
It's funny that comment was in there about being a 10-year-old boy, because that's when I first saw it. I thought it was awesome. Right. So maybe that's why I still think it's awesome, because there's that 10-year-old boy in me every time I watch it. I think it's great.
Yeah, the 8-year-old girl in me just.
Oh, wow.
What?
Okay. This is I'm going to let you, this is 3 lines. Just read it. Tell me if I should even read this. Come on. Like, seriously? I mean, is that what we've devolved into?
No.
Come on. No. I'm not even going to read that one. If you're interested, go to IMDb and find on your own.
Look at the last.
Just look at the very last 1-star review on it. It's like, come on.
Not even gonna bother.
We're not even gonna entertain that one.
And you know how I feel about those kinds of things too.
Right. But I mean, come on. Seriously. All right.
That's all they had to bitch about.
That's somebody's going to be upset about everything.
You can't make everybody happy. That's all there is. Why don't we get to some good 10-star reviews? Just a couple, because everyone knows how awesome it is. Let's just get a couple.
Just do a couple. Yeah. All right. So let me see. My gosh. See, this is how passionate people are about the movie. They're all really long. I'm trying to find one that's not too long, but these are like long, some of these. Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah. My voice has started going me. Damn it. All right, here we go. This one from August 8th, 2004. And again, notice the dates. By Dumalt, 10 out of 10. One of the best action terror films of all time was the title. One major mark of a good movie is its ability to draw you into its own particular brand of reality. An attribute of a great movie is that for a time you forget it is a movie. The first time I saw Predator, I even forgot what time it was. The cast and crew sucked me into a hot little battlefield somewhere near Earth's equator, and for a couple of hours I was right there next to Dutch. Wide-eyed and with my heart in my throat, I chased and fought and ran from a new on-screen terror so awesome that it succeeded in creating a new Hollywood archetype in horror. If by chance you haven't seen this movie, watch it alone at night in the dark.
That is an excellent review.
All right.
That was good.
Here's another one. This one from Mason Saul. And this is a more recent one, October 31st, 2020. 10 out of 10. Iconic action horror. Predator is a deservedly iconic action horror that skillfully moves between both genres whilst delivering a tense, atmospheric, and action-packed experience. Arnold Schwarzenegger gives an incredible lead performance supported by Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, Bill Duke, Sonny Landham, Shane Black, and Richard Chaves, however you say that, who are all great with fantastic chemistry. John McTiernan's direction is superb, and it's extremely well filmed and expertly paced. The visual effects are excellent, and the music by Alan Silvestri is perfect. Damn it. That's a review.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Okay, one more,
One more.
and then we'll wrap it up.
All right. Another 10 out of 10. Well, a real recent one by Robert Simon Batchelor, March 31st, 2020. 10 out of 10. An absolute masterpiece. One of my favorite films of all time. The plot, the suspense, the casting, the location, the pace, the predator. It's all absolutely first class. This film will go down as one of the greatest films ever made.
I think it already has.
And there you have it.
There it is.
So that is the final review.
Well, I don't know about you, but now I want to watch Predator. So what do you say?
Do it.
All right.
You down? I
Yeah,
think we should do a
Yeah.
bonus
why
episode.
don't we- okay. Sounds good. So
We'll do a watch along.
why don't we wrap up this show
Yeah.
here? And thank you everybody for listening very much. We appreciate it. Jay, thanks for joining us.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks
the
for
show
having
this
me.
week.
We'll see you guys next time.
And yeah, why don't we we're gonna say goodbye right now, but tune in a couple of days. We're gonna be releasing the Predator watch along because we're gonna watch it right now. So if you've never seen it, maybe watch it, and then if you want to watch it with us, that's cool too. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So until next time, any closing thoughts? Anyone? Anything? All right. Well, all right. On that note, I am the Golden Greek. I've been joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing trophy wife, the lovely Monique, and Jay.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker Podcast.
I ain't got time to bleed.